Hi there, thank you for stopping by. You're tuned in to Fab Trends by Mia. I just want to say it's been such a tough week, emotionally draining, I must be honest, and with what's happened, I've felt so many emotions. I've felt so much hunger, I've felt so much grief, I just have not had the motivation to do much. I just didn't feel like I would come on camera and start smiling and talking about fragrances. I've just felt so low because with what's happened, we all know what's going on, obviously, with the George Floyd death. It brought back a lot of memories, and speaking of my personal experiences, it brought back, I realized, the things that I'd literally pushed to the back of my head, forgot about them, carried on with life, because that's what we are supposed to do as Black people. So much injustice happens and we just carry on. You carry on because you don't want to speak out, because if you speak out, oh no, you shouldn't because if you do, it may make things worse. And honestly, it took me back from the years, my experiences, things I richly buried, forgot about it deliberately. So I think because it was just easier to forget about certain things that they happened and move on. And again, it even took me back to Turkey. And if you follow my channel, then chances are you may have seen this video, but I did a video last year about being Black and experiences of a Black person, and I said this because I'm a Black woman living in England, etc, etc. Anyway, I shouldn't divert. What I want, yes, my experiences of being Black, and that brought back again a lot of unpleasant memories of being a Black person and the injustice people face and everything. And it took me back to my college years. In college, how other students, white students, would be favored than you at workplaces where, you know, people, yes. So being Black is tough in this world. Like, you have to work so hard for everything, and people question you for so much, and people question everything. How can you? How did you? You know what I mean? And even now, and really, I know this is a very uncomfortable subject for some of you, my white friends that are watching, to talk about or acknowledge. And I've seen even posts where people have said Black Lives Matter, and white people have turned around, or even other people, other races have turned around, well, all lives matter. Do you know what? If all lives mattered, we would not even be here having this conversation, because then there would be fairness, there'll be justice for everybody. But obviously that doesn't happen. And I mean, if you know about so many white males being killed in America, tell me, because I don't know about that. And I feel like I just could not come on and have a chat, a talk about this, because I've been feeling so enraged. And I'm a mom of Black children, yes, mixed race children, but still lots of people would consider my children to be just Black, because for most white people, the 5% drop rule, you know about it. Anyone who's got a bit of mixed blood in them, they're Black. So my children, and I've got a son, should I be worrying about my son? Because I've got friends who have older Black children, and they'll be telling me they have to teach their children, talk to their children how to behave should the police stop them. And this, I'm not making it up. Do your own research, just listen to the news. It is happening. Yes, Black people, Black male especially, always facing all these injustices. They stop and search. More Black men have been stopped and searched. Just recently, a man delivering food food parcels for the vulnerable stopped because there is a black man. What is he doing out? He's probably dealing drugs. And these are the kind of things we need to move on. So please educate yourself. If you are a white person, you don't understand, just try to educate yourself, because even if you can't understand, as a human being, you should have empathy. So try to have empathy and imagine how black people feel. I mean, you see people being killed every day in a horrible fashion for the whole world to see. How does that make you feel as a black person, a mother of a black child? That's where I'm coming from. So if you can have empathy for that, and yes, I don't condone violence, but think about the reason why people are rioting and looting in the first place. Would people be on the street looting and whatever, rioting, if everything was fine? Exactly. So anyway, and as well, for my white friends thinking, I don't hate white people, I love white people, I love all peoples. I'm married to a white man myself, so as you can imagine, it's a hard conversation to even have, even to try and tell my children about how white people can be racist to black people. Of course not all white people, but to try and explain that to my children, because half of their family is white. How do I tell my children in a way that it doesn't affect them, or to have that kind of maybe bias towards their white family, thinking they are racist? Do you know what I mean? So anyway, and as well, just educate yourself. I'll link some information down below to channels you can look up, books you can read if you care to, but there's so much information online that you can easily look up or watch videos. Just try and educate yourself, because I think education is the key. And the thing is, about what is happening, it's not something that you have to, it's not something that people have to acknowledge to themselves, oh yes, I'm racist, or I'm not racist, just because you think you're not. It's the microaggressions that are constantly there every day, and I could give you so many examples, so many, just of my own experiences, which people do these things, they don't even realize it, because that's how much ingrained it is in us. Don't forget, we're talking about centuries of these things going on, and it's not going to be rooted out just today because people are rioting. But I hope with what's going on, especially with the police brutality, it needs to start there. Something needs to change, because this cannot carry on. We have had enough. Anyway, I need to breathe.